Hello? Can you hear me? Oh, that's loud. Hello? Axe or Lucy, can you tell me if you can hear me, please? Oh, alright, okay. Let's fire it back up then, shall we? Do 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 do. Blah la 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 la. Can I be heard? Lower you down. And do 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 do. Yeah, well, fuck off. Hello. How are we? Can everybody see me? I say everybody, I mean the two of you that are here. Hello, hello, hello. Good. Good, 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 good. How is everybody today? Hold on, let me just lower my own volume down. Cool. Yeah, well, listen, the two of you are good enough. So, plan of action here today is to do a roast chicken dinner. Bear with me 1 sec. Now, unfortunately, it is 22 degrees out and it's fucking roasting. But we're gonna go with it. We're gonna roll with it. We're gonna take our time. I'm gonna go through literally every single step of this today. I know there's only two of you here, but we're gonna go through it. I have Mono here next to me, the dog. So anything that falls on the floor, he will eat. And right, need to crack on because this will take roughly 2 hours from start to finish. Yeah. Yeah, we fucking absolute copper pots here. So I need to get the chicken in the oven soon and then I can relax and do some other stuff. So first things first, we are going to create a butter. Actually, I don't need to shout, this microphone's on me. A butter that we will put inside the chicken. So it's going to be a lemon and parsley butter. Sorry, there's a helicopter outside my house. A lemon and parsley butter with a bit of garlic in it. So that's first. No, I'm not really a spatchcocker axe. Fucking hell. Say that 3 times fast. I'm not really a spatchcocker. What I am is a traditionalist. Trained French. Free helicopter, yeah. Free trained chef. So, for the butter, first thing we're going to do, we have our garlic, which I'm going to just crush 2 cloves. I'm going to grate some lemon zest into the bowl. I'm also going to chop up this parsley without the stalks if I can. Thank you very much. And we're going to work with that. Why? Prue can't see me. Brilliant. So, as we go through this, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks, some chef stuff. So, first of all, if you're ever working, so I have my bowl here for the butter. Hello. Oh my God. No idea how to say that. Skogsval of Corn. There you go. Smashed it. Never in doubt. So, welcome in. So, if you're ever working with food, and this is the bowl I'm going to do the actual butter in. Whoop, shine, shine, shine. Always have a little bowl next to you for your scraps and for your bin, so you don't have to keep going back and forth to the bin. So I'm going to peel my garlic first. That's the first step. Garlic, 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 garlic. Garlic waste goes in there. I'm going to do 2 cloves of garlic because why not? It is garlic. Everybody loves garlic. Right, so we've got our 2 cloves of garlic. We've got our lemon, which I'm going to zest. Where is my peeler? Question. So you're zesting a lemon, simple as, same as peeling anything you own. Just onto the smallest grater. Turn, twist, grate. That's it. I got a D. I don't know, Lucy. I asked your man in the shop. I said, I'm going live and doing a cooking class in a couple of hours. I need a mic that's going to stick to my chest. Can you give me one, please? So he gave me one. He actually gave me a cheaper one, and I said, well, this one's only 20 quid more. Is that worth it? He said, yeah, it is. So I was like, cool, give it to me. So I've zested the lemon in to here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to crush my garlic in there. The garlic crusher, where are you, mate? There's two ways you can crush garlic. I'm not going to do the other way because it's too messy. Unless I have to. The garlic crusher's not here. As you can see, I'm well prepped for this. So I have my two garlics in here. I'm going to crush them in. The other way you can crush garlic is to kind of chop it roughly, put a bit of salt onto your chopping board and scrape it along. And what the salt does is it acts as kind of like a coarse grater, and it changes your garlic into garlic paste. So you just kind of drag it and the salt will break up the garlic for you. But that's very messy, and I'd have to clean this board after, which I'm not really into doing at the moment. So I'm going to crack my garlic in there. I'm going to get some of it on the laptop that's in front of me here, because that was part of the plan. Of course it was. Jesus, how would it not be part of the plan? Gonna move that away. Now, first, hi Dutchy, welcome in. Now, first chef lesson you're gonna get here from John is about chopping herbs. Okay. Now, and I'm gonna show you why. Hopefully, it'll work out. Maybe in there. So, give me. So, first chef lesson. When you're cutting herbs, try and have as sharp a knife as you can. I did do a little bit of sharpening on this beforehand. It's not great. Okay. So this is parsley here, right? So what we're trying to do with this is to cut it and not smash it. So what a lot of people will do with herbs is they'll go da 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 da. And I'll show you why that doesn't work after. What you should be doing all the time when you're cutting herbs, I'm trying to get all the stalks out here, sorry. You're bunching them up and rolling them. Don't put too much pressure on, and I'll tell you why after. Bunching it up into a group like you would a certain grass element, for anyone who gets together with that. I don't. And what you're trying to do with your knife, you're never doing this, you're sawing. Tip of your blade never leaves the surface of the chopping board, and you saw. So I'm going to saw. Nice and slow, nice and slow, nice and slow. Keep bunching the herbs. Have your hands tucked in behind. I'll show you the cutting technique in a minute. Okay. So I've cut some parsley there. I can pick it up. I can use it. That's going into our butter. Now, I hope you can kind of see. Yeah, you can see it on the board. That's good. Right. If I crush it and I just go, you'll find that you can't really see it, but your board will turn green. And what's happening there is all the parsley juice is going out onto your board. Now, what that does is it takes flavor out of your herbs. So your herb's not going, the flavor of your herb is not going into your dish. It's going onto the board. And then you have to clean your board, your herbs are wet, and it's just a big disaster. Nobody wants that in their life. So, second part. We now have, in here, we have our lemon zest, our parsley, our crushed garlic. We're going to put half a juice of lemon into it. You can squeeze it through a grater or through a juicer, or you can just put it through your hands. If you're cooking at home, it doesn't really matter. You're just trying to catch the seeds. That's it, really. Okay, that's gone in. Oh, I have my bin. I keep forgetting I have my bin here. Going against my own advice. And last but not least, we have our softened butter. I left this outside for about 10 minutes and it's nearly fully melted because it's currently 22 degrees Celsius outside. So I'm going to take about, this much. Just rough guesstimates here. Cooking is poetry, baking is chemistry. Anyone wondering? So this is where you've got two options here. You can either stir it and hope for the best, or you're going to do what I can do, and you're going to put your hand in there, and you're going to mix your butter, your herbs, your garlic, all around with your hands. Yes, the butter will melt. Yes, your hands will smell of garlic. Yes, 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 it's all fine. You're cooking at home. It doesn't really matter. So, what you're left with is garlic, parsley, and lemon butter. Now, I have to fucking get my skates on here because I've got shit to do. So, whenever I'm roasting, hello Dot, how are you? Whenever I'm roasting a chicken, I always do it on a grill pan. And I'll tell you why. Because you can put stuff underneath here, add a little bit of liquid, a little bit of stock actually. I'm going to turn on the kettle actually before I forget. So I have it handy. You're going to add some vegetables, you're going to add some stock, and you're going to add maybe like a little bit scraps and stuff if you've already peeled. Because I'm already thinking about my gravy. So this is where you start to layer your gravy. So what I'm going to do is I'll take a couple of carrots. Right? Let's just put you to the side here. Now, how deep is the tray? It's probably about that. So in my head, I'm thinking about a couple of centimeters in width. And I'm going to go along. Now, obviously, I'm going to chop this quite quickly. Don't try this at home. But just to go through the proper... I'm doing a honey glazed carrot as well, actually, Lucy. But just to go through a proper cutting technique. So, you want your claw. So you have your 3 fingers tucked in. The tips of your fingers tucked in. Your knife is going to rest against the knuckle of your hand. You're going to saw. Now what happens is, some people cut like that. They go wham, 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 and they take the top of your finger off. And the reason I know that is because I've taken the top off this one and the top off this one. There's actually still, can you see that? No, you can't. There's still a little scar on the tip of my baby finger for where I took it off with a knife. So, hello Spenny, welcome in. So, your sawing motion, your knuckles, your 2 fingers tucked in behind. Do. So if I just do this slowly, the reason why you can do like this is so I can look at you guys, I can talk while I'm cutting, and I'm never in any danger of catching my hand. Now, all the time the knife is rested against my knuckle, the 2 fingers are tucked back in behind, so it can never ever get caught like that. Oh, nightmare, Spenny. Hate that. I don't think I have a shout out command, Lucy. You just have to do it manually. Oh wait, yes I do. What the fuck? I'm assuming Fru made that. Right, so they're layered in at the bottom. Next thing up, we're going to do the carrots. I'm going to go a little bit quicker now because I'm tight on time. And I wanted to show off a little bit. Why not? That's why we're here. Okay, carrots are in. The next one we're going to lash in is a bit of garlic. Once again, this is your gravy, so it doesn't have to be fine, doesn't have to be right. It just has to be chopped roughly. You're thinking about your gravy, you're not thinking about presenting this. This is just flavors going into your gravy later on. Oh, lift. Good. Cool. And lastly, what I'll do is I'll do an onion, as they're colloquially called online. Sorry, I'm not looking at chat because I have to get this fucking chicken in soon, otherwise it won't be bloody cooked. Put you in there. And then I'm going to make these into small rings that will fit underneath my grate. Do-do-do-do. And lastly, because it's one of my favorite herbs, and it goes really well with chicken, we're going to throw in a little bit of thyme. Thyme is very good with chicken. So this is lemon, thyme, garlic. They're all flavors that work really well together. They're all flavors we love in this house, except for my father. So yeah, now we get on to a bit of the messy part and a bit of the main event. So I have, and this is where it gets a bit messy with washing your hands and everything like that. So what we're going to do, I'm going to put a little bit of salt into a little jug here so I can use it freely with my hands without having to wash my hands repeatedly. So next step, we are going to get our chicken prepared. Now, if you don't like meat and you don't like me putting my hands into a chicken carcass, I'd say turn your screen off now. And there will be some part of this that I know Lucy and Dot here, they're going to jump all over this because they're both degenerate minds. But I'm going to just go through it anyway. So, very first stage we have our chicken. Okay, so we have our chicken here, right? So chicken, obviously, I'm going to put this in the bin. Ooh. Very light meat, very lean meat, so it needs a bit of help, okay? Yes, I am going to put my hand in his butt, Lucy, but I'm also going to do something that you're going to fucking lose your mind over, I think. Which you probably have never seen someone do before. So, first things first, we have this bird here. We're going to season inside of the arsehole to start. I'm going to put a bit of salt in there. We're going to move the hand around. Okay. We're going to stick an onion up there. We're going to stick a lemon wedge up there. So that's the first part done. Second part, and this is why we created this butter. We're going to go under the chicken's skin. We're going to use 2 fingers. We're going to pull the skin away gently from the breast. And we're going to put the butter underneath it. So I'm going to put my 2 fingers in, gently walk them down, slowly lift the skin away from the breast. I'm going to do it on the other side. Chicken is getting the full treatment here. Walk it all the way up. 2 fingers in. There you go. Now you can fit the space. Hello, Tam. So, now we have our butter. We're going to take this butter we've made previously. So this is our lemon and herb butter. That's going in the 2 crevices we just created. And the butter is going to get spread all over the breast on the inside. So the idea being is that the skin protects the butter, stops it burning. The butter will go all over the breast, go into it, make it moist, add flavors. Yes, John's doing a fingering lesson here. Same side, I brought it away. Bring the butter along the breast again. Take the remaining bit of butter we have and just put it all over the chicken, everywhere you can think of. It's already underneath, it's already inside, so get a little bit on the legs as well. Don't forget the legs. The legs are very important. I'm not talking about the chicken anymore. Okay, let's wash our hands because chicken is fucking hella dangerous. And don't forget that either. So, there you go. There's the bird. She's good to go. I'm going to top her with a little bit of salt. Just a little bit from what's left over here. From a height. Oh. I'm going to add a touch of olive oil so the butter doesn't burn. So Butter burns, but when you add a little bit of olive oil, it stops it burning. And last but not least, since I said to you guys earlier, which is very important, I'm going to put a little bit of water underneath this. Hello. Hello, Lucy. Hello, Lucy's phone. I'm going to put a little bit of water and stock underneath this, because what that's going to do is it's going to steam as well as roast. So the steam from the bottom, because you have the onion, because you have the lemon, it'll steam from the bottom. And I'm going to baste this probably every 20 minutes or so. This should take about an hour and 20. And then it'll rest for another 30 minutes or so. So, what am I doing next? The water. Right, so with the water, I'm going to take a little stock pot here. Because once again, already thinking about my gravy already. So I'm going to take a little stock pot here. Listen, you can make your own chicken stock if you want. That's like waste of fucking 3 hours of your life. And anyone in here who makes your own stock, fair play to you. It's a fucking tough L job. I wouldn't do it. Stock pots are good as long as you get a good one. So I now have my stock, I have my herbs, I have my chicken, I have my butter, I have my everything. The oven's been preheating the whole time I've been talking to you guys. I'm going to pour my stock in here underneath. Oh, that touched off the chicken. I don't like that. I have to wash this fairly thoroughly. Cool. Now, going in the oven. 200 degrees. This is a 1.5 kilo bird, so anywhere between an hour and 20 and an hour and 40. And we shall baste her every 20 minutes or so. Cool, so that's job one over. That's the biggest job done. Someone asked me recently, a friend of mine asked me recently, when you're cooking, how do you time everything right? So when you're doing a Christmas dinner. And I always said, you have to go by what can't be reheated. So we're going to make mash with this. We're going to make what's called champ mash, which is mashed potato with spring onion through it, because spring onion gives a little bit of freshness to the chicken. It goes well with everything else. You can reheat mash. You can reheat mash in a pot, in the microwave if you have to. Carrots, for example, don't reheat well, so you try and judge your whole meal over what time are the carrots coming out at. The chicken can rest for anywhere up to the amount of time you cooked it for, so that's okay. If you're doing roast potatoes, they can't be reheated. So whenever your 40 minutes of roast potatoes are up, that's when everything else should be ready to go. That's your benchmark. So you have to try and think of what things can I reheat and what can't I reheat. That's what you're always thinking about all the time when cooking. What has to be done fresh. So if you're making a steak, for example, that's your benchmark to when everything else needs to be finished. What are you giving out about? Come up here for a sec. Oh. All right. People watching you. You okay? I'm gonna wash my hands anyway. There's nothing going on up here. The chicken's in the oven. There's nothing going on. Hello? Mono. This is Mono. He's deaf. He's blind in one eye and half blind in the other. Whoa, go down. Off you go, buddy. And Mono, he barks like a deaf dog, which is really, really, really funny. He doesn't have a proper bark. He's a really high-pitched bark that he obviously can't hear. Oh, hi, Mel. Welcome in. We gave a shout out to Mel. I love that. Stevie barking. There's a shot. I don't think I've ever heard Stevie bark before, Drew. I'm just going to give this a little clean. Welcome in, Mel. You've missed some of the prep work, but I'm going to show you now a very important skill. Aw. It's weird, he's been deaf for nearly 2 years now, and he seems to be fine. Like he doesn't feel like an old dog, even though he is an old dog. It's weird. I'm going to teach you guys how to peel carrots quickly. Now, if anyone watched Santa's cooking stream, which I did, I've done this technique before, but we're going to do it again. So you need an apron or a tea towel. I'm going to go with an apron because I'm wearing one. And I'm going to show you the easiest way to peel a carrot. And I can tell you this because I used to peel, I think it was 5 kilos a day or 15 kilos every 2 days. I can't remember. No, it was 15 kilos of carrots a day, and it was 40 kilos of spuds a day I used to do. That was my first job in the kitchen, not to be a stereotype. So, when you're peeling anything, yes, it is, Lucy. When you're peeling anything, what we're going to do is we're going to put a tea towel, preferably not a big hefty one. Let me find a clothy one. There we go. So you're going to put a tea towel down on your counter. Okay. This is for carrots, parsnips, for anything like that. I'm anchoring this on my body. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the peeler towards myself, slightly twist, pull again, slightly twist, pull again, slightly twist, pull again. And that's what you're trying to do. So all the time, twist, twist, pull, twist, pull, twist, pull, twist, pull, twist, pull. Oh, excuse me. Twist, pull, twist, pull. And that's peeled. Done. Now, if I was doing it at my pace, it would go like this. Done. So, all the time you're getting a peeler that you bring towards yourself, twist the carrot towards twist. And the anchor of it going on your body is what does it. Now, why are we wearing an apron? Well, in general, it's good hygiene. But secondly, I don't know if it's going to do it on this one. Yeah, I have a little mark in here. So ordinarily what I do to even protect it even more is stick a tea towel underneath. And now, a little bit of a bulge here. She said, you're twisting and you're pulling all the time. So all the time, twist, 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 twist. That's done. Now, if you want to be pedantic, I'm going to cut the ends off these anyway, so it doesn't really matter. You can twist and do the ends like this. Now, ordinarily, if I wasn't time constrained like I was here, I would have taken the tops and tails off these and thrown them in with the chicken as part of my gravy, and I still might. Now, why do you put the cloth underneath? So we can go. Peelings are gone. Into the bin here. And that's it. Peeled. No fat, no fuss, no mess. Blah, 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 blah. Job done. So, everything in the kitchen is about saving time. So I'm going to top and tail these. And because I'm just honey roasting them, which I won't be putting in the oven for probably another hour or so, I'm just going to half them. I want to kind of keep them big, because they will break down a little bit in the oven over time. And the last one. Oh. There you go. They're nice and flat. I don't think I'll need all those, to be brutally honest, for fucking 3 people. But we'll move just a little bulge there. Just a little bit. Okay. Right. Okay. So I'm trying to get ahead of myself here, which is what you should always really aim for if you're cooking. So something like this, if I was making this roast dinner normally, like I'm doing this all on the fly, so it's fine. But if this was Christmas dinner, for example, or if I had a dinner party the following day, night before, peel and leave these somewhere, job done. Because the whole thing about it is, as I said, you're trying to time everything, yeah, but you're trying to put yourself under as little stress as possible on the day. Now, we move on to the really messy one. We're going to peel some spuds. Now this is where you definitely need this little padding, because this is where, unfortunately, it gets very wet. Gets very wet and messy, is what I was trying to say there. Now, potatoes always need water. Cannot leave potatoes out of the water. They will go brown within. Oh, see, Milky knows the lingo. Milky knows how to talk to me. They will go brown within 10 minutes. They'll be gone. They won't be gone. They'll just look shit, and they'll lose all their moisture, and they go brown and they bruise really, really, really quickly. By the way, Axe, just saw that. Congratulations on getting the first. It was a bad streamer. Didn't say anything about it. So, whoa, excuse me. I'm making mashed potatoes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel these. I'm going to use a similar technique to how I peel the carrots. Obviously a little more. They're a little more oblong and a little more weirdly shaped. It's still going to be a twist and twist and twist and twist and twist. It's a little bit messier, but it's definitely worth it. I always try and get as round as I can. They're as easy to peel then. I'm going to put you back in because you're a little bit of a nightmare. So same again. I have my potatoes here. I'm saying, oh, that was very Irish, wasn't it? Potatoes. I have my potatoes here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little peel of them. So once again, I'm going to rest this. I'll take the big fella actually. I'm going to rest this against my body. I'm going to pull and twist. So pull, twist, all the time. And then, like I said with the carrot earlier, it's a twist again. Down the end, you're twisting, you're pulling. That's all you're ever doing. Now, as I said, I used to do 40 kilos of these a day. And your forearm will be in bits after a while if you have to do a lot of them. But, healed. Job done. Okay. So once again, it's all twist and turn and pull. The problem with potato peelings is they're sticky. They want to fucking glue onto everything that you own, including your peeler. So maybe the odd time you might have to give it a little bash on the ground. By the way, I know this is quite close to the mic. I hope everyone can still hear me. I know I'm leaning down into the fucking thing at the moment. Hope the sound's okay. I literally have not tested the thing. I bought this mic an hour ago. So, okay, thank you, Fruit. So, I'm just going to peel these quite as fast as I can. Although I do think there's going to be a bit of waiting around and a bit of chatting here while things are happening. Because that chicken's going to need another hour and 30 minutes at least before it's ready. So there will be a sit down and yap session for a little bit during this. I know I have that music on. I don't know. I hope that's not too loud either. Literally have no idea. Pro streamer, man. Pro streamer. See, this way, if anyone meets me at TwitchCon and says, oh, when's the last time you went live? I was like, Sunday. I went live on Sunday. Did a lovely cooking stream. Of course I did. Because I'm a pro streamer. I hope everyone had a lovely weekend. I know you fucking assholes in UK have a bank holiday tomorrow. Well, that's okay for it. It's supposed to be background music. That's fine. You're supposed to just be listening to me more than that. It was just there as kind of a noise breaker, just in case it went deathly quiet at one stage while I was cooking. But it shouldn't do. This should be fairly low effort because I was planning, to be honest, right? I was planning on doing this for a while. I wanted to see if my laptop could handle it, number one, which it seems to be doing okay with. I wanted to see if the internet could handle it, which it seems to be doing okay with. And I wanted to do a full Sunday roast because I wanted to do Yorkies and things like that. And I'm not doing Yorkies today because it's the middle of summer. Oh, well, that doesn't matter. Accent. I have it quite. It's breathtakingly low. I don't even know where the mouse is. Oh, it's over here. What if I give it one of these? Hello, Arthur. Welcome in. Welcome in. Yeah, I wasn't gonna do your. I wouldn't do Yorkies with a roast chicken dinner anyway. But I. It's too warm outside. I know everyone's having a bit of a warm heat wave at the moment. I don't think anyone really wants a big thick Yorkshire pud. Now, I know fucking Lucy's gonna come flying back at me and be like, I'd love a thick Yorkshire pud on a summer's day, but the majority of people won't. So there you go. Board's clear. Peelings are caught. I'm gonna put these in the bin here behind me. Cool. So, we have our carrots prepped. We have our potatoes prepped. What I am going to do to these though, because if you're making mashed potato, hello Goose, honk. What you're doing, if you're making mashed potato, they should all be roughly the same size. So I am going to cut these into some small and even shapes, even-ish, roughly the same size. This is where your board gets exceedingly wet, but we move on. And cue up the jokes here. Whoa! Rue! Thank you for the sub. This wasn't supposed to be a sub stream, but okay, thank you. I really appreciate that, genuinely, that's really nice. Thank you very much. I don't have any badges or anything set up. You've got an Irish heart emote that you can now use everywhere, which I know you'll love. But thank you very much, Fru. I really appreciate that. I don't know if nobody else sub, did they? Thank God. I'm not listening to that. Cool. Good. The Irish heart emote is actually my favorite, and it makes me look like a really patriotic asshole. Because I just use it everywhere, but I have it set. No, Fru has a founder's badge. See, Axe, I think the people who got the founders badges are no longer with us. And I don't mean dead, before anyone gets upset. Whoa! Oh yeah, Goose never... So this is the thing, right? Goose actually never stopped his sub. This whole time I've been getting like, just like enough from one sub every month for like 9 months, and I haven't been streaming. And I felt so bad when I copped it the other day. Look at that big wet patch from Peeling Spuds. And I meant to say to you, Goose, I'm really, really sorry about it. You should have just kept it going. And Arthur is subbed as well. No way, we do not have a hype train, do we? Fuck off. Holy shit, what the hell? Yes. Okay. I guess we have a hype train now. Okay. Hand job. That's fine. Nice. Let me check this. Yeah, I don't know. Are my alerts playing? I don't even know if they are, to be brutally honest. I haven't checked anything before going live apart from my own. Ooh. Apart from some bits. They play the sound also very quiet. Okay, that's all right. I'm not too fussed because unfortunately last time I played last time I did this, the alerts actually, and fucking Lucy subbed as well. Thanks guys. Last time I did this, the alerts playing actually made me drop frames. That's how fucking shit everything was. This seems to be handling okay, which is grand because I'm not doing anything, and I have a separate laptop here, which has my stream manager open on it, because that literally is just doing OBS and nothing else is open. So this is fucking nuts, like. Yes, I can, Lucy. And Arthur with the 69 biddies. Who the fuck you? You know what, Fruit? I'll do it. I'll do it after Lucy. I don't know how to do it offhand, so I will do it after stream. I will make you a founder. No, you're fine. I'm actually well ahead of myself here. So, what we're gonna do now, we're gonna do the first based, because that's been in about 15 minutes now, I think. So, if you're ever putting, so if any of you guys can see this thing here, this is a burn mark from one of my old roommates. She took a pot off the hob, put it on this. It obviously burnt because it's wood. So if you're ever taking anything out of a hot oven, put a cloth down, protect your surface. So we are going to baste this chicken. Now, you can use a spoon, or you can use a fucking baster if you own one. And I own a baster, so we're going to do that. All right, Monaco. Oh, no. Let's just take her out, have a look at her. She's still quite pale. We're just going to tip it to the edge. Take a little bit. Little first baste. Legs are a bit scorched. And if you're ever worried, if your chicken is ever cooking, or you're something like this, a delicate meat, and you're thinking, wow, it looks a bit brown for only being in an hour or whatever, then just remember you can just put a bit of tin foil over it, and that'll protect it while it keeps cooking, and it'll stop the skin from burning. So back in you go, love. See you in another half an hour. Cool. She has not been wearing her sun cream, Fruit. She is getting roasted. So what do we have to do next? Carrots are there, the potatoes are there. We may as well, to get ahead of ourselves here, we're going to cut some spring onions, or scallions. I do need to do this once a week, Arthur. It would be nice. This was actually just a tester to see if my laptop could handle it. I'm still planning on getting a better system so I can game again, which would be cool. But if it can handle this, then I'm absolutely golden. Brew, could you do me a favor, please, if you're still there? Or Lucy, or one of you. Could you just rewind the stream and just see when I put that chicken in? I think it was in half an hour ago, but just to double check. It should be about 20-25 minutes ago I put it in. Just let me know how long it's been in, because I'm doing it for about an hour and 20, between an hour and 20 and an hour and 40. So sorry, I'm not talking you through what I'm doing here. Bad streamer. Thank you, Fruit. So with spring onions, the outer layer is usually, or scallions, whatever you call them, the outer layer is usually quite coarse and it's usually dirty. So you always try and peel off the outer layer first and leave it a bit dead. And that, in that case, you can wash them as well. That's the other option. I tend peeling them is a little bit better, because the outer layer is usually quite elasticy, where the lower down you get, the more solid they are and the more crunchy. Now, here's another fun fact. 23, oh lordy do. What are we on now? What time are we on now? Oh lordy do, what have I done there? 49. So it's been in 22 minutes. Okay, cool, thank you. So fun fact. I mentioned earlier that I've put the top off my finger a couple of times. Once in the kitchen and once at home. The time I did it in the kitchen, and I took the top off my finger and had to finish my shift, because that's what you did when you worked in the kitchen. You took one for the team, which is a load of bollocks. But anyway, it was while cutting spring onions. But I did that at, I think it was 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. And I had to work until 11 p.m. the following that night. So I was in for a further 12 hours missing the top of my finger. I put on a blue glove because everything's blue. The reason you see blue gloves and blue rolls is because there's no natural food stuff that's blue. Like blueberries, etc., are purple. That kind of bright blue. There is no natural food substance that is that color. So, I had to put a blue glove on, and about 20 minutes later, it was purple because it had filled up with blood. So I had to take that off, wash it, and put a new one on. And I basically worked for the rest of the day like this, and then went home. And they were all like, "Oh, well done, John. Fair play. Fucking brilliant. Well done." In hindsight, absolute idiocy. I should have went to the hospital immediately, but I didn't. And that was stupid. And now I have a scar on my hand. So don't be a hard man. It means nothing. So if you're cutting a spring onion or a scallion, whatever you guys call them, whatever your proclivity is for it, it's obviously the taste of it gets a bit harsher the further you go on. So if I'm putting this into a mash, which I am, I'm putting it in raw, right? I'm gonna make the green parts a little bit bigger than the white ones. So if I cut them all the same, the green ones will get a little bit drowned out by the white ones because they're gonna be a lot stronger. So I'll start kind of thick and finish quite narrow when it goes further down. If that makes sense to everyone. So let's try and not cut our hands off again. And don't need that last bit of white there. And we're going to throw that into a bowl. And after we've made our mash, and I will go through the whole mash making process. Now, if you take anything from this video today, it's watch me make mashed potatoes. That's the one thing you need to take in this video today. The chicken, the scallions, all that's fine. I've said before and I'll say it again, I think I make the best mash in this country. And these little tips and tricks that I do, there's one big thing that you have to have in order for it to actually be good. But if there's one thing you take away from today, it's how to make mashed potato from me, because you won't regret it. Everyone talks about the eggs, but nobody's had the mash, you see. If they had the mash, they'd just talk about that. Okay, so chicken's in. So it went in 25 minutes ago. So chicken will be about another hour. Carrots are ready. Buds are on. Everything's prepped. You know what? We're good to go. Hello, Sana. Sana has missed all the chopping, has missed all the prep work. I'll chop something in front. Sana's seen me cook in person, so she's happy out. Hello, Sana. I went out, Sana, and bought a microphone today for €100 because I decided I wanted to do a stream. Because why the fuck not? Why would I bother? I decided to not be a fraud before I went to TwitchCon, and if anyone asked, I'd be like, yeah, of course I streamed. I was streaming last Saturday or last Sunday. I did a roast dinner stream. I originally actually wanted to show the outside and all the light, but once that light came in, my camera just completely died and was like, what the hell is this massive white light that's coming in on top of me? But welcome in, Sana. Thank you for shouting out, Sana. That's really nice of you. Whoever did that. I didn't actually see. Oh, it was Axe. Thank you, Axe. Axe, I forgot you were a mod. I'm not good at this. But anyway, right, so let's go through. Chicken is in the oven. Potatoes are behind me. I don't need to put them on yet. Spring onions are prepped. Carrots are prepped. We're good to go. We are absolutely good to go here. We've got a good half an hour of we can just talk shite here if you like. I need to figure out, yes. You have honey though, which is important. Now, I was saying earlier, I'm going to do honey glazed carrots. Not ordinarily, but some people will peel the carrots first. Not peel the carrots, will parboil the carrots first, and then we'll then coat them in the honey. I like to put them in, I like to just cover them in the honey, a bit of salt, and just lash them straight in the oven, because I feel they have a little bit more bite when you do that. And there is natural water that's inside a vegetable anyway that will generally come out. You have to, hello Lexi, welcome in Lexi. There is natural water that will come out of the veg as it goes on and as it cooks. So I like to just put them in whole, put them in raw, and hope for the best, you know. And that's how I live my life in every aspect. Anyway, said about that. But yeah, I really should have picked something that would have involved me cooking for the entire time. But we are in a bit of a lull here for probably the next 25 minutes. Hello Lexi, hello sexy chat. I can't believe there's 19 people here. This is fucking wild. This beats every other record I ever had in here. Ever. So I'm chuffed. I'm chuffed there's so many people in here. And yes, that's what we're gonna do for you. I was actually gonna say that. So if anybody has any cooking questions, I have loads of veg here and stuff that I haven't used, but I can prep something, I can do something, I can show you as much skill as I can possibly demonstrate. No Dot, there's only 4 mods, I think. Yes, there's only 4. Axe, Lexi, Fru, and Lucy are my only 4 mods. So here, you can have an elastic band. Right, I'm doing gnocchi tonight. I was gonna do it with bacon and mushroom, if you have any suggestions. Okay. I ordinarily, there's a couple of things. Oh, what the hell was that? Oh, hydrate. Good idea. I'll be back in a second. Now, I want my water with me. I'm back. True. If I was doing gnocchi, I would generally do it. There's 2 ways you can really do it. Just do it with butter and some peas. It's actually really nice for gnocchi. Or I do kind of pesto based sauce. I think a pesto base is probably, pesto base with bacon would probably be nice for you. I don't know if you like pesto. It's not in your rotation, so I'm not sure if it's something that you eat. So I actually genuinely have no idea. Hey, that's your bet then. Bit of pesto, bit of bacon, some parm. I think you're golden there, really. Like, you know, it's quite a rich dinner, but it is nice. Sorry, I'm keeping an eye on my chicken. She's over there. She's relaxing. Actually, I'm going to cut some tomatoes while I have you guys here, because Ooh, who's this? Hardest round here? Welcome in, first time chatter. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Uh, right, okay. I need a little bowl for the tomatoes. Use this lad. So you're asking yourself, what am I doing with tomatoes? So I'll show you later, but essentially some tomatoes, potatoes. This one looks like an asshole. So essentially what I'm going to do with them is I'm going to use them to thicken up my gravy. Yeah, new follower, let's go. Welcome in, TARDIS. That makes you my, even though it says 112 my thing, but it's actually 106. What is everyone's not? This was me. This was mine after sitting in the sun yesterday for a while. What happened to me? Looks exactly like that. So I will be using these tomatoes to thicken the gravy, or thicken if you like to use H's in your accent, which I don't. And I'm just going to cut these nice and rough. That's all I'm going to do with them. There's no such thing as a H in a Dublin Irish accent, or an Irish accent in general. The H is optional on every word you ever use. Instead of there, we say dare. Over there. Who has Dutchie? There's no H in there, fuck that. So yeah, I'm going to use these tomatoes later on, and what I'm going to do with them is, when I take that chicken out of the oven for good and I let it rest, I'm going to show you how I rest this, which is going to make at least 2 of you children laugh. But we'll keep that for later. Definitely going to make one of you laugh anyway, that's for sure. But I'm going to use the tomatoes rather than, so you've got 2 options if you're thickening gravy. You can add something in that will naturally thicken it, like a tomato that will pulp and kind of blend into it and make it a bit mushier. Or you can add a bit of cornstarch or corn flour, depending where you're from in the world, with a little bit of water. So you mix, and you can do it with normal flour as well, but it does kind of give that it sticks to the back of your throat a little bit. You can mix flour with some cold water into a little slurry. If you mix flour into warm water, it kind of cooks it and clumps it. It doesn't really work. So you mix it into cold water until it looks like milk, and then you bring it into your gravy and heat it up, and it will naturally thicken it. And there's this other one that Michelin crowd fallow use, which just looks like someone jizzed in your gravy. So I wouldn't really be a fan of that, but that's what they use. Bit of a xanthan gum thing, I think, put together with something else. I don't think jizzing in your gravy is a good idea. Wouldn't do it personally. Listen, I'm not here to judge. Whatever you guys want to do, you can do. It wouldn't be for me. So I'm taking our little side bin that we had. I'm dumping it into the main bin. So now my side bin is now free for any more. But yeah, so as I said, I'm all set here. I'm good to go. I will start to put on my spuds. You know what? What we're gonna do? We're gonna prep the carrots. Hello, Jason. Welcome in. First time chat as well. Welcome. We're gonna get a dish to cook these carrots. Now, ideally you'd want a steel one, but that steel one, you know what? Not too bad. We're gonna fucking use it. I'm gonna use this lad, and I'm gonna use a little bit of parchment paper if we have it. Ew. I'm gonna cut that. Sorry, I don't know how much this mic picks up. That might have been very crackly, but if it was, tough shit. If you're ever baking anything on a tray like this and you're putting parchment paper down, little trick is to either take a tiny bit of butter. Olive oil doesn't really work. A little bit of butter or a little bit of margarine, and just dab it like 5 on a dice, and your parchment paper will stick down onto it a lot better. This should work now. There you go. Happy days. Cool. So we have our carrots here. I'm gonna get a little bowl out. Carrots are gone in. We're gonna take our honey. I'm gonna use a good bit of honey here because these are gonna cook on their own, kind of on their own juice and on their own power. I'm gonna take a little bit of salt. I found doing this a couple of times that if you add probably wasn't parchment paper you were using, Arthur. That was probably a sheet of A4, which Sana informed me yesterday that A4 is not the standard measurement of sheets all across the world, which has blown my fucking mind. It's only, well, apart from the US. Yeah, did you not see it yesterday? It turns out that the US standard sheet of paper is way different to everywhere else in the world. I did not know that. Everywhere else uses A4 and they don't. So they're now coated in honey. I'm going to lay them face down on the tray. Whoopsie daisy. We're going to shift them across. They're going to go in about an hour to go. Yeah, see? We all found that out yesterday for the first time. Now I found that if you put olive oil on these or anything else, it tends to water them down a little bit. So they are coated in honey, but we're going to give them another little go. They have the salt on them. They have the black pepper. Salt and the black pepper counteract the sweet, so it's sweet, it's salty, it's spicy. It's everything you want from a bit of veg. Yeah. So they're good to go. I will. Oh damn it! What time did I put that? So there's about another 40 minutes on the chicken, 40 to 43 minutes. So they usually take around about an hour. So I will actually put them in now. Fuck it. Worst case scenario, they can go back in and heat up towards the end. Carrots are in. So that's the carrots are in. Chicken's there. You know what? We're going to do another little baste of our chicken. Once again, as I said before, put a bit of cloth down so you don't damage your worktop. We're going to take out our chicken. We're going to baste her again. She's a little bit more brown. We might have to tin foil her towards the end, but we'll see. And then I might pick up Mono and annoy him for a few minutes. So that chicken's been in now 40 minutes, about halfway there. We're going to baste her again. She's looking a little bit scorched, but that's okay. We'll keep an eye on that. Brown is okay, black is fucked. As far as cooking goes, because that means you've gone too far. So that's cool. We basted that. While you guys are arguing about paper size, I've basted the chicken. This is good. Keep everyone involved. Oh, take that with you. Thank you. You go, pal. Now, once again, we're in a bit of a lull now for 20 minutes. I've even prepped my prep, so it will all come together at the end. So what are you guys talking about? Oh, you're still talking about the paper. Am I going to work? No, Lexi, I'm not going to work. I have to make you guys aware that people I know in real life are probably in here as well. Because since the last time I went live, I've told a lot more people that I streamed. So there might be people who I'll have to face tomorrow who who might see this. So there shall be no twerking. He's just staring at me here. You alright? He's having a great time waiting for the food later. Yeah, they know me as John and without the burl. Or I didn't even introduce myself. My name is John DB IRL, actually, believe it or not. Someone's gonna kick off now that I said that. Nobody redeemed hydrate, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I'm a fucking rebel like that. But so the chicken, when it's done, is just going straight in. I'm gonna put everything into the washing machine. That's how you mix it up at the end, and that's how you get that like really rich, deep flavor. I keep forgetting this microphone is here. Anna, don't let your subconscious speak for you, please. You're allowed to ask these questions. Just you know, I can go away and come back just wearing the apron if you want. You know, it's whatever makes you happy. You know what I mean? I don't want to deprive you of anything in your life here. Whatever your inner mind is thinking. Yeah, Jesus, could you imagine if I came out in just the apron? Posture check. Stand up straight. Hold your body together. Oh, what was that? Oh, to hydrate. Okay, now I forget I did all these alerts like 9 months ago. Sparkling water. This is in a heap behind me actually. I'm not washing up on stream. Fuck that. Waste of time. Ordinarily, right? So ordinarily, if I was working or if I was cooking, that would all be cleared but it would make a shitload of noise and you'd be staring at my back for 5 minutes. So I'm not doing that. But so I'm just gonna put everything away. Is what we're gonna do. So I know what I'm doing. Butter. Don't need the butter. We don't need garlic masher. You can go in the bin. Spring onions are there. Things are there. Tomatoes are there. Good. So once again, if anyone has any chefy questions, let me know. If there's anything you want to talk about, anything you want to ask. Yeah, well, you can see it briefly, but just not for 10 minutes while I smash pots around the room. Look at this little lad. I love this little guy. So I'm going to talk about the mash actually. I need to make pork scratchings. You know what? I was looking at a video of how to do it there recently, Axe, and there's like everyone has a different technique. There's a few of them that do like they'll just cut the skin. They tend to flatten it because the pork belly will kind of balloon up, and they'll boil it and dry it off, and then they'll just cut off the skin and drop it in a deep fat fryer and go. And the other way of doing it is to slow cook a pork belly for ages, and then at the end take like scalding hot fat and pour it across the top of it, and it kind of aerates it. Getting crackling right is actually really difficult. I don't think I've gotten it right once. It's very, very challenging to do. Yeah, a bit of confit as well. Yeah, pretty much like. But no, but if I was doing a bacon roast here, so I was thinking about doing a bacon roast here today. You get a big slab of bacon, back bacon. You do boil it. You boil it for about an hour and a half, and you boil it. You boil it first. You change the water after about 10 minutes because there's a shitload of salt in bacon. It draws the salt out. You put in fresh water, bring it to the boil again. Put in your star anise, your peppercorns, your cloves, your carrots, your onions, your garlic, all that sort of stuff. And you roast it until I think it's like 56 internal temperature. You take it out, pat it dry. Then you cover it in honey and mustard and put it in the oven to cook. So it's like a two-step process. Like you're kind of boiling pork or braising is the best way of cooking a pork belly or a bacon roast. But you do finish it in the oven to crisp it up. But you can do, as you said, you can do a confit, but it'll be more pull apart then. So if I was doing like a pork shoulder, it would just go straight in the oven at 120 or 110 or whatever for 6 or 7 hours on a slow, covered in tin foil, slow shit out of it. Covered, so put it, I brush it with Dijon mustard, cover it in honey, put it in the oven, because it's already cooked. So all you're doing in the oven is looking at it until it looks like golden brown, until the honey and the mustard have kind of cooked and created a bit of a crust, and then you're like, cool, out, job done, finished. You can do the same with the chicken actually. You can cover it in honey as well. Like, it wouldn't be something I'd like to do personally. I'm like, mine today has lemon, parsley, onion, garlic, that sort of stuff. Yeah, so bacon and cabbage is a real Irish dish. It's so you do bacon the way I said there, and then you cut it into slices of back bacon, the thick pieces of bacon. What you guys would call Canadian bacon. And then you cook some cabbage, some Irish cabbage, so some Savoy cabbage in some butter. When you parboil it, then finish it in some butter and herbs, and then you'd have like mash, and then you'd make a bechamel sauce with parsley and frost. So that's a real old Irish dish, because pork was always quite readily available over here and cheap, so it was fine. But yeah, that's like a real traditional Irish dish, bacon and cabbage. It's something my parents would have been brought up on. What's not a traditional Irish dish, which seems to be fucking everywhere, which I've never actually had, is corned beef. Now that's something my dad had when he was 5 years old and has never had it since. But corned beef I've never had in my entire life. And you see it when you go abroad in all Irish pubs and stuff. They serve corned beef and some other shite. And I've never ever seen that anywhere. What? You okay? Do you want to come up and say hello to everyone again? Come here. Oh, come up and say hello. There you are. Alright. Monaco also has no teeth. So he's blind in one eye, he's deaf, and he has no teeth. Oh! And he doesn't like being held sometimes. Wash my hands. Just touch the dog. But yeah, Monaco. The reason his name is Monaco, by the way, is because all of our dogs we've ever had in our life were all rescues. They all come from shelters rather than from farms and stuff. So they usually come with a name already, and he was called Monaco, and we just shortened it to Mono. Well, I said my mother shortened it to Mono. So when he arrived, he was in a puppy farm. This is going to get really sad, just for FYI. He was in a puppy farm all his life, and he doesn't know how to show affection. So he doesn't lick you or play with you. He doesn't know how to do it, because first 6 years of his life he was just basically in a cage somewhere. And when he arrived, all his teeth were rotten. They had to take them all out, and he was scared of fucking everything. But that was about 4 years ago, 3, 4 years ago. Now we got him, he was about 8 or 9. He's much better now, obviously. He's in a loving home. He only had one tooth left. He had a big snaggle tooth, like a big fang that would just stick out, and then that broke off, so now he has no teeth. So he is just a little old man. He shows his affection in his own ways. He comes up to me and he'll rest his paw on me, his front paw. He'll just kind of do that, and that's kind of his way of saying I want affection. But he's never licked any of us. He doesn't really play. He's gotten a little bit better at it, but listen, it's part of having a dog with a little bit of trauma, and they all have it. So all the dogs, every dog we've had has been a rescue dog, so they all come with a little bit of something. They're usually scared of a brush or something. You can't step over them. They'll be scared you're going to hit them or something. And over time, he just bred, like our last dog, Timmy, he was scared of the brush when we got him, and you couldn't step over him. He'd run into a corner. And then about 5 years later, I remember it was a very telling day. I went to step over him and he wouldn't move, and I put my foot next to him and swept him to the side, and he just stayed as a dead weight and kind of did that. Because he just knew that none of us were ever going to kick him or hit him or anything like that. And he was like, oh, okay. And he just let me push him along the floor with my foot. Whereas 4 years previous to that, if I even raised my leg close to him, he'd run into a corner and whimper. So you kind of deal with that when you get dogs who are from shelters rather than farms. But anyway, that's a sad detour. Well, it's not. It's a happy, because look at him. He's sitting there looking at me. Yeah, you. We're talking about you. But I'm going to baste this chicken again, because it's getting very brown. Oh, we need to keep an eye on her. It's funny because it looks done now. I'm a little bit worried about it. Oh, there's another 20 minutes left in there. So what I'm going to do is what I said before. I'm going to cover it in a little bit of tin foil, because even you guys can probably see how golden brown that is now. So what we're going to do, I'm going to slightly turn down this oven, and I'm going to put some tin foil on it. This is why you check things. You can go by, when you're cooking as well, you have to go off, like I said, obviously I have instinct on what I can see. But you have to go off what you can smell, what you can hear, all the sort of things. If I can smell that skin is scorched a little bit, and I can see it visually that it's not doing fantastic, so I'm going, right. Sometimes your oven just kicks into high gear and there's nothing you can do about it. So that now is covered. That'll still cook, but what it'll do, it'll protect the skin from scorching even more, because this has another 20 minutes at least on it. So don't be afraid that if things aren't going well, that you can just change, you can just adapt, you can just move. There's all these sort of things you can do. Don't worry, we're going to rest it. And if all else fails, and something I think every person should have in the kitchen, matter whether you're a professional, whether you're an amateur, whether you're a casual cook, you should always have a probe handy. Because a probe, if you're ever worried about something and you probe it, and the probe says, hey, the internal temperature of that is 63 Celsius, or whatever the fuck you're looking for, you know for a fact it's safe to eat, it's not overcooked, blah 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 blah, all this sort of stuff. So I have an oven proof probe, which I only use if I'm doing something really sexy in the oven, like if I'm doing a beef Wellington or something and I want it to be exactly something when I take it out. But most of the time I'll just use it as just an ordinary probe. But it's a beast of a thing, I love it. The other thing is that there's one called the Meteor, which I'd love to try, which is connected to your phone, and it gives you updates on how everything's going, and it's smart and all that sort of shite. But anyway, not to worry. Yes, thank you, Arthur. So what I'm going to start here, I was not laughing at that sound, I promise. I'm going to start my mash. So we are going to, I'm just collecting tea towels like a fucking madman here at the moment. I'm going to change the water on these potatoes because I'm trying to get a little bit of the starch off them. Oh. Just cover the potatoes with water in the pot. I'm going to whack that heat right up to the top for the start. We're going to put some salt in the water. Don't be afraid to be hefty with the salt. And I'm going to cover that and I'm going to bring it to the boil. Now, they're back there. They're happy. Once it comes to the boil, which will take whatever 5 to 10 minutes, I'm going to reduce it down and just let it kind of simmer, because an aggressive boil on potatoes will break them apart, which is not what you want. You want them to be knife tender. That frightened the shit out of me anyway. You want them to be knife tender and you want them to be soft, but you don't want them to be broken up and mushy, because then your mash will just turn into a puree, which is not what you're looking for. You're looking for mash. You're looking for ice cream scoop, fucking ice cream texture, essentially. That's what you're looking for. So they'll go on now. They'll boil until I feel, once again, it's all about your feel. When the knife goes into them cleanly, you know they're done. So you'll see me do this later, but when you take out potatoes after you boil them for mash, but now, in reality, what a lot of chefs like to do nowadays is to actually bake your potato whole, and that's how. And then they scoop out the innards from the skin after and put that in their mash. That's a lot of work, and the reason they do that is because that draws all the moisture out of the potato. When you bake it, it dries it up and intensifies the potato flavor, and then you mix that with milk and butter or cream and butter, whatever you're cutting it with, and that's how it works. So I personally, I think that's a lot of work for what you get. As long as you boil them and you keep an eye on them, I'll take them out and drain them and leave them to steam for about 5 or 6 minutes before I start to mash them, because the steam will continue cooking them a little bit, but it'll also draw out a lot more of the moisture from the spud. And once again, we're looking for that intensity. That's what we're looking for out of all this. We're not really looking for a mush. We're looking for something that tastes like potatoes, but with a shit ton of butter and cream into it. And that's half the major tip on making mashed potato is butter and cream. And the other half, it's this fucker. This, my friends, if you make mashed potato, you absolutely, positively must buy one. This is called a potato ricer. This has a little grill in the bottom of it and a little press that pushes the potato through. Excellent, Arthur. Love to hear it. This is without a doubt the most important thing if you're making good mashed potato at home. Oh, I love that, Spenny. Spenny is half cut. We love that. Well, through buy a ricer. They're 10 to 15 quid. And if you buy a good one like this, you won't need to replace it for 10 years. A bad one and it'll bend here and then you'll be fucked. But this is 100% worth it. If you make mash often, and I mean if you make it once every 2 weeks, to me is often, this is absolutely paramount. It'll change your life. The other option is to push it through a sieve, which takes ages. And a Michelin kitchen will put it through this first, and then through what's called a drum sieve, which looks like a big massive drum that they'll push through with like a bench scraper. That's a step too far. But for the home cook, this lad is absolutely key. And I'll show you later when we are making the mash, which will be in about 25 minutes. And then the other side of it is what you're putting into it. So butter and cream. Simple as. You heat a bit of butter, you heat it with the cream, you put it into the mash, you mix it around until, once again, and I'll show you this later when we're doing this, you taste it. You put your butter, you put your cream, you look at the texture, you taste. You put some salt in, a little bit, you taste. Doesn't taste right, you keep going until it doesn't taste salty. Just before that point. So salt, things shouldn't taste salty. So this is a weird thing. So salt doesn't have a flavor. Salt is a flavor enhancer. So, and this is when I love cooking in front of people. If I was making this in front of someone, I would have them taste it at every stage. I'm gonna salt it, because you'll go, oh, that's lovely, and I'll taste it and I'll go, no, I could use a bit more, and I'll put a bit more salt in, and they'll taste and go, oh, that's even nicer, and I'll go, can you taste the salt? And they'll go, no, it just tastes more like mashed potato. And that's how you kind of, because the first job I ever had in the kitchen was making soups, and that's your base for all soups, is to go, if I'm making a tomato and roast red pepper soup, it has to taste like tomato and roast red pepper. You put your salt in, taste it, yeah, that tastes like tomato. You put a little bit more salt in, yeah, that tastes like tomato and roasted pepper. It tastes more intensely like it. And you're trying to get that intensity to a point where it doesn't become, where you don't get that kind of bitter cat's arse, as they call it, mouth, where you're wincing. So you're trying to get to this point without breaking, you know what I mean? So it's, yeah, so Arthur, this is a 6 of one, half a dozen the other situation. Like, so the majority of Michelin chefs will use cream, or they'll use milk. Marco Pierre White said he used to use cream and now he uses milk because he feels it's better. So it's a general personal preference. I've always made it with cream. It was the way I was taught to do it, so it's just what I do. It's just way richer. The milk is kind of a bit lighter. You'll get a bit of a lighter texture. Some people find the cream too heavy and too dense and too. It is a personal preference thing. I don't think there's a right and wrong way. It'll be less rich. I like rich food, so it'll be less rich with milk than it would be with cream. But listen, I don't mind that. Like, it's just, yeah, give it a go. But I would say heat it. So you'll see me, sometimes we'll use this guy because he's small, but it's probably too small for today's one. I don't know, we'll see. I'll have a look and see. But about this lad will heat it up, and I'll heat it up until the butter is melted through the cream, and you'll get this kind of lightly pale yellow, looks like hollandaise sauce looking mix of butter and cream. And then I'll put that in and I'll mix it with a big heavy whisk. Yes, Jason. See, Jason. Oh, it's Jason's on the right track here. That's what we need in our life. I generally can't believe how well everything's holding up here. I'm looking at this. No frame drops. I have my stream manager open here. The music's playing. Fine. I thought this would be a shit show. Well, actually, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn these carrots, because they do need turning every once in a while. Once again, put a tea towel down if you're putting a hot tray on the surface, because worst case scenario, burns tea towel, which it probably won't. Whoa, excuse me. Now, as you can see, these have dried out a little bit. I'm going to give them a tiny... Do I have my tiny spatula? Yes, I do. Love this little lad. So it's the first thing you're told to buy when you're a chef, is this lad. Tiny little spatula. It looks like a knife, but it's not. It's flat and it's not sharp. And you'd always have it in your back pocket. So you go around, so it's, if you're tasting something, you clean it, wipe it back in, you need to pick something up. So I'm going to turn these using my little spatula. I'm going to give them another little coating in honey, and then I'll turn them again towards the end. So they're halfway there. He's starting to scorch a little bit, which is nice. This is one of those foods that if it has a few, like, scorch marks like that, that's usually good. It means it's cooking a little bit better. I'm going to give them another little douse of honey. Another little douse, because as you can see by the paper, a lot of the honey does spill off in the cooking because it is at the end, it is quite liquidy. I think it'd be a better quality honey, like this is just honey I got from Tesco. It would probably stick a little bit better. But I'm going to put you back in. So we're roughly 15 minutes from taking out the chicken. Then I'm going to rest it. I'm going to show you how I'm going to rest it. And I hope that Lucy's here when I do that. I don't think she is at the moment, but I'll get a laugh out of her if she is when that happens. But yeah, so chicken's done in 20 minutes. Or actually, Prue, are you still here? We should have done a clock actually. That would have been cool. Prue, could you just double check? I think I put it in an hour and 8 minutes ago. Could you just double check that for me, please? My timer. What do I have the timer set at? That is a 1.5 kilo. Yeah, between an hour and 20 and an hour and 30. Oh yeah, I should have put a timer on the screen. That would have been clever. 1 hour and 10 minutes has been, yeah, spot on, cool. So I had 1 hour 8, but 1 hour 10 is fine. I'll take it out in 10 minutes. Because I've taken it out and basted it quite slowly a couple of times to show you guys, because ordinarily I'd open the oven door and just base it on the spot there. But I wanted to do it here where you guys could see on my chopping board. Oh, you bit way off center. Yep, fine. We're all good. Do the posture check there for free. But yeah, so we are all. Oh, now, because I wasn't listening to use, that is now. That's gone to a bit of a big aggressive boil. So we're going to turn it down. We're just going to add a little bit of just a touch of cold water in, just to bring it back a little bit. And then we're going to push it. So I'm trying, once again, I'm not trying to overly scorch the potatoes here. They were really at a rolling boil there because I had the lid on them. I'm trying to just bubble enough that they're not kicking the fucking potatoes around the water, because that's how they do break up. I can't show you because I went to look at doing a dual camera thing today, but I don't think I'd be able for it personally, but we'll see. Maybe next time we'll do a dual camera where I'll have one stick in here looking at everything. I thought about putting one here on the wall looking down. Yeah, Lucy, the funny thing is that everyone I tell who I told them I moved home a couple of years ago says, oh, it must be great because you're eating loads of home cooked meals all the time. And I was like, well, no, it's great for them. I'm cooking them home cooked meals all the time. I mean, who do you think is eating this? You know, it's not just me. I'm feeding the family here today, so no. Now, ordinarily, that's another thing. When I'm making the gravy, ordinarily I would put a little bit of white wine into it. I don't have white wine today, so we'll just move on with our lives. But if I was making beef gravy, I'd use red wine, and if I was making turkey gravy, I would use cider. But today I'm just going to use a bit of stock and a bit of veg and boil it down. Lucy, make sure you're here in about 8 minutes because I have a nice joke for you that I think you'll enjoy. Good. Yeah, leave for 8 minutes and come back in exactly 8 minutes. That would be fine. Actually, exactly 8 minutes. I will be taking the. Actually, I'm gonna get that ready. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Need another big fuck off bowl. I have the Irish household bowl, which is, now this one isn't, but when you were a kid, this was used for getting sick in, soaking your feet in, bringing stuff to the neighbors in, cleaning dishes in, making food in. I think every Irish household that had this exact bowl. Hi, Silly Jops. I don't know who Silly Jops is. They're Irish because they laugh, so we all had this one bowl that, there you go. This was, get sick in this, give that to the neighbors, soak your feet in that, wash the dog in that. It was, oh, hi Jane. Okay, Lucy knows who Jane is, or who Silly Jops is. That's good. But I confirm in this household, this is only used for cooking. There's no multitask. You can look at me all you want. You're not getting washed in this. He's asleep. I don't want to leave him alone. I wish I could turn the camera around to look at him. He has his head buried. God love him. There you go. And do you know the worst thing is, Lucy? I bet you a week after you peed in it, you walk in and there was like a scone mix in it or something. It's just something that is always happened, which is so annoying. I have a jock. Oh my god, that's like something. That's what they call you in like the fucking 70s, Spenny. Oh, Lucy, I thought you were like a kid that was sick in bed. Okay, that's much worse. Oh, that's awful. That's positively ghastly, is what that is. That's like a running joke when you say that, like, oh, I puked in a bowl last week. Or I puked in a bowl in one of those bowls before. Oh, were you a kid? No, I did last week. Yours is actually true. Which is, I had flat 7-Up and dry toast was my sickness healer. Flat 7-Up. I think some people used to boil Lucozade, which was weird. Yeah, it's not a great insult. I'm not gonna say it. But yeah. So, how far away are we, in my opinion? Let's check the spuds. What are they at? They're still rock solid for now. So they are now boiling gently. There's little bubbles, like basically a fucking can of lemonade or 7-Up. There's little boiling bubbles coming up without moving the potatoes too much. They're still cooking. Bubbling means boiling. So it's still boiling, but it's not beating the potatoes around the. You see that? It's not beating the potatoes around. So that's what you're looking for. So you have our potatoes, carrots are in. We're just waiting. We're waiting for 4 minutes. Take the chicken out and start the rest, and then we can start the gravy, which is a very important part of this. Let me just get my Easter out of the way. Let's get the spring onions away. Finish with you. Finish with you. Oh, that's roasting hot. Okay, I'll keep that out. Knife. I don't need you anymore. Don't need you anymore. And will use you. Cool. John, I need a Gino D'Acampo redeem. It's the. What's he say? What's he say when they get stranded on the Obviously, there's my grandmother had wheels. She would have been a bike. There's that one. Or this is stupid. We could be having a cocktail. Oh no, this is a waste of time. We could be having a cocktail or a wine. You have to do trying to think of his sound bites. He's a good few good ones. Yeah, it's exactly like I think my Gino D'Acampo impression is very good actually. Said no one. Oh shit, the football. I forgot about the football. Not to worry, we're cooking. We're cooking, and the dog is sitting here staring at me in his bed. So everybody's happy in the world. If anyone has, I've got 3 minutes till I have to take this chicken out. If anyone has any other questions. Angry Potato. Oh shit, the Formula 1's on as well. It's an awful time to do this stream, didn't I? I still can't believe there's 16 people in here because I know there is some other people within this community that are live at the moment. So I didn't think anyone would come here. I would just be Axe and Lucy. Oh, that's music. I was like, what the fuck was that? I will, Lucy. Well, it'll depend because, like, obviously, my dad's out all afternoon. He has a gig, so I've kind of commandeered the kitchen doing this. And then most other Sundays, I didn't do anything yesterday. So if I was out the night before, there's not a hope I'd be able to do this. So it's kind of hard for me to say I'd love to do it. I'd love to do this every Sunday, but football finishes soon, so I might do it on Saturdays. But then I don't know. Like, I don't know. We'll see. It would be. This has been a lot of standing around because I'm really good at this. Turns out making the Sunday roast is not that big of a stress for me. So I would need to do something a little more standish that I can kind of like do it the whole time while I'm talking to you. Maybe something that only takes 40 minutes or so and just get it done rather than trying to do a full Sunday roast. And this was the big key as well. This little fucker here. Buying him was a good idea. Yeah, see, like I'm trying to think. I was trying to think of something to do today, and I always wanted to do the Sunday roast. That was my big idea for this stream when I decided I wanted to do it. But it's summer and it's fucking 22 degrees outside. Nobody wants to eat a big stodgy. So I decided this is kind of halfway house, so it's not stodgy. It's a light Sunday roast. So there's chicken and there's mash and there's bits in it. Like, let's take you out. Now, chicken. We have our chicken. Oh shit. The honey get down. Oh, a little bit of charring here, which I'm going to try and get rid of. Because I don't want that going into my feckin' gravy. Here you little bollocks. Get out. So. Take Ugo. Wait, do anything? This, what are you talking about? John, listen to me. What? What does take Ugo? Take photos. Good idea. Hold on. Let's just take a photo of her now. We'll put one with the sleeping dog. Thank you very much, Lucy. Now, this is what we're going to do with this chicken now. We're going to put it into the bowl to rest and we're going to cover it in cling film. But we're going to put it in face down, ass up, right? Because what we want What we want is for the juice of the chicken to rest and come back into the breast rather than the other way around. So he's gone in now, upside down, arse in the air, face down, ass up. We're going to, and this, don't ask me why. I don't really agree with this, but I'm not going to doubt Marco Pierre White. He covers it in cling film. Oh my god. Redeem is wild. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cover it in a bit of cling film. Hello, Crumpet. Welcome in. Yeah, Sully serves. All my mates have been asking me to bring that back. But it's just a lot of effort, unfortunately. So what he said is, when a chicken is resting, all the juices, you see a lot of steam coming off and it's evaporating. You can see that kind of fogging up already. He said that's all flavor. That's just disappearing into the air, and that's where the lovely smell comes from. Whereas if you cling film it, craps, it comes back down and stays in the chicken. So I'm not going to doubt Marco Pierre White. What the fuck do I know? So that's going in there. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to shift our spuds across. I'm going to see what they're doing first, or how they're doing. No, they're not there yet. So we will move them across. And this is where it gets a little bit messy. So, you away. I'm going to take the cage, the rack off this. I'm going to take the rack off. Jesus Christ, this is a lot more sus than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to squeeze the lemon in that we had inside the chicken. I'm going to take that onion out as well. I'm just going to take this. Oh, that was hot. That burnt me out. Thank you. And I'm going to move that to the side. Now, all of this is what came off the chicken. There's a little bit of black stuff, which I got rid of, which is fine. There is a lot of butter in here, so you'll see, well, you can't really see, but there's like a separated fat on top of it. You can get rid of that if you're boring. I'm not boring. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit, I'm going to top this up with a little bit of water. I'm going to put this onto the heat. Now this is why you need a heat resistant. You can't do this in a foil baking tray a la those really annoying TikTokers. You have to use a good solid baking pan that can take heat from the bottom as well. So I'm going to put another stock pot in there. I'm going to give this a little mixy mix. I'm going to put my onion back in, but before I do that, here's the tomatoes that we cut earlier. They're going in as well. And the idea behind them is they'll thicken it up naturally. And if what you'd normally do as well, which I'm not going to do here today, which I could do. Is that still roasting hot? No, it's fine. So that goes onto the heat. What you'd ordinarily do is take all the little shit bits off the chicken that nobody likes or nobody wants to eat, and you'd put them into the stock as well, just to add more chickeny flavor. Or if I was doing a Christmas turkey, ordinarily your Christmas turkey you would you wrap it in bacon because you have to cook turkey for fucking hours. I put that bacon into the stock as well. So the idea behind this is we're going to cook this down, we're going to mash the veg into the sauce, and then that's going to be our gravy. And once again, it can be as thick. You can be as thick or as thin as you want. It's depending on, this is all personal preference. What we are going to do though is we're going to turn these carrots again. So this is where things start to kick into high gear with regards to your cooking. Right towards the end, we still haven't made the mash yet. So you flip back over, flip back over, flip back over, flip back over. Now they're starting to colour. Love that. Now they're starting to look like honey glazed carrots should look. So I will lower the heat down on that oven slightly because they're a little too charred in some places. Actually, no, that's okay. I'll give them another little top up of honey, because the honey keeps dripping off the epoxy side of this. And this will be, say, our final batch of these. I'll go in for, say, another 5-10, and then I'll be happy out with them. They do look incredible, thank you. One thing, be careful, always be careful with hot, sugary stuff. So, for example, if you're making, keep talking as if you guys are miles away, there's a mic underneath me here. If you're making something like a creme brulee, now it's not something everyone's going to be making every day, like, let's be brutally honest, but if you get hot sugar onto your skin, this is actual pro chef tip, if you get hot sugar onto your skin, you have to sit there and let it burn you, because what will happen, it'll hit your skin, it'll burn you like molten sugar, it'll burn you. You have to let it finish and then take it off. If you flick, because what will happen then, it'll blister your skin, you'll get a big nasty shitting blister, but if you flick it off while it's warm, it'll flick off your skin and take your skin with it, because it's stuck. But when it dries and it hardens, it pulls away from your skin a bit. And it sounds like such a shit thing, because your natural reaction is to always flick, is to go, ah, fuck. That's so much worse. Yeah. Well, see, you're talking to me who's like, cause I did work in the kitchen. I have a few horror stories. As I said, I've taken the top off 2 of my fingers in the past. I'll show you this, right? So, if you have a bottle on the counter and you do that, your natural reaction is to go and catch it. I did that, except I did it with a blowtorch. So I knocked the blowtorch off, and went, oh shit, and went to catch it. And the blowtorch was off, but the tip of it was still red hot. And it came down, and I caught it, and it landed on my thumb here, and just ripped all the skin clean off, burnt the skin clean off, gone. You definitely couldn't see it in this camera, it's not good enough. But there's still a little tiny white mark there. I did that 14 years ago, and it's still there. So you're told in the kitchen, if I drop something here, if I drop this bottle, you're told to go, even though this is just a bottle of sparkling water, you're taught to, whatever you drop in the kitchen, your first instinct has to be to fucking throw away, has to go, you have to back off. Because I remember one day there was a guy in the kitchen, and he was carrying a bowl like that full of raw carrots. He tripped and stumbled slightly and fucked the bowl across the whole kitchen, and carrots went everywhere. And like in front of him, and nobody was in front of him, nobody was near him. And we were all going, and I said to him, what the fuck is that? And he goes, John, if that was boiling water, my instinct has to be to throw it away from everyone else and throw it somewhere that it's not going to harm anyone. The instinct can't be to try and catch it, because it's boiling water, it'll boil me and scar me for life. So you have to, yeah, exactly, Jane, that's exactly the way you should be. You shouldn't ever have this kind of situation where you are trying to catch something like that, because that's what happened to me. I tried to catch a fucking blowtorch. I mean, and the blowtorch, and it was off, but it was just on, so the tip of it was still red hot, and that's what hit my hand. If the blowtorch was on, it would have just, the whole hand probably would have been fucking gone. Like, but it's one of those kitchen stories that kind of sits with me, you know. But yeah, so you have to ignore every natural instinct you have when cooking. And it's weird, like, yeah, whenever you're in the kitchen and you drop something, just let it drop. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? to clean up tomato sauce off the floor, or you have to clean the burn marks off your hand. Like, and it's the same thing as like after I left the kitchen, a few of my instincts disappeared. And I remember one day I put, there's a few pans I have. This one. Whoops, it is. So this one, this pan I have here, this can go in the oven. This is oven safe. So if you're cooking a duck breast, you cook something like that, you'll cook it on it and then just put it in the oven. Now, obviously, this is going to be absolutely scalding hot. And I forgot about that one day and just went to take this out of the oven like that. Just, whole hand went beet red after about 20 seconds. Now, I always have burn gel in my fridge. Here. Yeah. Always have burn gel in my fridge. Because you'd be surprised how often you burn yourself. And I always have Sudocrem on me at nearly all times as well. Like, so it's because there's nothing. I remember some chefs debating it in the kitchen I worked in before, like what's worse to get before service, a bad cut or a bad burn? And they all said bad burn. Burn is so much worse. There's a shadow of it. Okay, so spuds are ready. I'm also going to turn off the carrots. The gravy is reducing a bit there, which is nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to strain our spuds. And then we're going to let them steam for about 5 minutes or so. And while they're steaming, we're going to heat our cream and butter. Let's dump you out. Okay. Okay. So they can sit there, they can steam for a little bit. Might as well try and show you them because you guys are over here. That's me being a bad streamer. They're sitting there, they're going to steam away, they're going to get a little bit drier and drier and drier over the next 2 or 3 minutes. Carrots done, chicken's resting, gravy's bubbling away behind me. We're on track. Whoa! Hello, Roar. Welcome in. Hello, Kata. Hello, Goth Rush. Did I get raided, or is this just random? I think this might be random. Hi guys, welcome in. Hello, E4 Chris. This might just be freakish coincidence. It's just random. Cool. Welcome in, everybody. You're nearing the end of. I'm doing a roast chicken dinner. So I have some honey glazed carrots in here, which are pretty much done. So you got some honey glazed carrots there. There, I literally just turned off the oven there, so they'll continue to cook. I have some potatoes here, which are steaming. Where do we play with my balls? You can do whatever you want. It's really random that all three is joined at the one time. I love that though. So I just drained these. They are, as we would call, they are fork tender at the moment. Knife passes easily. Oh, that's broken because I've done that. So I'm gonna let these steam for a couple of minutes, take the last bit of moisture out of them. Then I'm gonna mash them. The gravy behind us is boiling away. The chicken is resting in the corner over there in that mess, which I will deal with after stream. I don't want to clean on stream, that's wild. So put everything I don't need away. So that's all this. It's a little bit of a Sunday roast, some chicken, some gravy, some honey glazed carrots, some champ mash, which is an Irish mashed potato with spring onion. And yeah, that's it. We're just waiting for we're just waiting for the gravy, really. Nearly good to go. Actually, I am going to heat my butter and cream. So, little pot. And this looks like a lot, but it is a lot, and it's going to be fucking good. I'd say that's roughly... We're going to put a bit more in, but we'll be roughly doing maybe 200 to 300 grams of butter. Real butter. Now, once again, I eyeball this because every time I make this, I eyeball it every time. And once again, golden rule of cooking: you can add, you can add, you can add, you can never take out. So I will start with, let's say, roughly 300 butter, and then I'll just fill the base of this with cream. So probably, what's in here? 250 mils. So I'll probably go 100 mils of cream, and I will bring that up. I will heat that up to not a boil. Boil is kind of would be a rough term for that, but I'll heat it until it's combined. The gravy is starting to thicken up nicely, which is good. This is just the pan we roasted the chicken in, along with the veg that I put under the chicken to catch all their juices. And the herbs, there's thyme, there's tomato, there's carrot, there's onion, there's garlic, salt and pepper, and 2 stock cubes, 2 stock pots in there. So that will, once again, you're just trying to run it through yourself until you have the thickness you like. And I'm going to bring that down a little bit. Now, I said earlier, I'm going to bring you back over here for this. That the most important thing in your kitchen, if you're making mashed potato, is a potato ricer. So we have our pot here, probably a little bit too hot. So what are you looking at? I'm making mash. You wouldn't like mash. It's too rich for you. We have our ricer here. Most important piece of kitchen equipment I have, for my opinion, in my opinion. Put your potatoes in, and they come out as nice little, essentially, grains of rice. That's why it's called a ricer, I'm assuming. I just made that up. That's a fact I just randomly made up there. That's why it's called a ricer. It's like rice. Couldn't tell you. Whoa, whoa. So this is all I'm going to do. I'm going to push all these potatoes through this ricer. Basically, oh, come here, you little fuck. You're not going anywhere. And depending on how long you've cooked them for, this should either be really easy, or it might give you a little bit of an arm workout. So and I will show you how. Okay, probably could have cooked these a little bit longer, but it doesn't really matter. As long as they're going through, that means they're okay. But, alright, that's better. Maybe I'm just weak as fuck. And lastly, last 3 in. There you go. Now, I'll show you what this looks like. I don't know how well my camera will pick it up. Let's have a look. There you go. Kind of looks like rice a little bit. Now, we have our next step. And this is where I would invest a good whisk. This is a big fella. He's a big fucking whisk. Right? So, as of right now, this is just... Yeah, Lucy, I have a bunch of chef shite, like... Look at the size of this fucking thing. I mean, I don't know why I have this. Look at the size of the thing. Huge, look. Overcompensating, if you ask me. Let me just shift this across because I want to heat this butter quickly. Anyway. So we have our spuds here, which are riced. I have some salt here. I have some pepper here. I'm going to get some finer salt because there's a lot of potato here. So first things first, I'm just going to mix this butter and cream a little bit more. I want this big chunk of butter here to melt. And I think it was, I don't know if Arthur is still here, but I said to Arthur earlier, it kind of looks like hollandaise a little bit. So that's just butter and cream mixed together. I'm going to put a little bit of it in. I'm going to just slowly mix this until it comes together. And then I'm going to whip her. That to me is still a bit dry. So we'll go another bit of butter. And this is where, as I said to you earlier, where everything becomes really important. So we're going to taste it. The first taste before you start salting it is about richness and texture. Now for me, I like it a bit butterier, and I have a little left, so it's all going in. Okay, so I want it to be a bit more. You do have to be careful here, because if you keep whipping mashed potatoes, it becomes a bit gluey. So for me now, that's spot on. So next step, we're going to salt it. Another whip together. Taste. A little bit more salt. I don't think it needs any more than that. And because we're making champ, I'm going to use some black pepper. Ordinarily, I would use white pepper because white pepper doesn't show up in mash. But since we're lashing spring onions into this anyway, it doesn't really matter. So I'm gonna. Cool. So for me, let's do one final taste. Voila. Perfect. Don't need you anymore. I don't want to whip the potatoes too much, otherwise they'll get gloopy. Okay, let's have a look. Let's show the class here what we've made. Need a nice spoon here. Nice serving spoon. Where are you? You. Oh, this is new. Okay, cool. All right, so just for the class, there's my mash. I wish the camera would focus, but it's not. Okay. So, mash is done. Now we're going to make it into champ mash, where we put our spring onions into it, or scallions, whatever your inclination is for these lads. And I'm going to use a spatula this time because I don't want to fuck around with the texture of the mash by whipping it with a whisk again. So that is our mash done. So my camera isn't good enough to pick this shit up. If it was, then I can't really see it. Anyone want a spoon? Mash for the boys? No? Uh, okay, so mash is done, chicken's done, carrot's done. Let's finish the gravy. So, little pot here. I'm gonna do this over here because I can. First thing we're gonna do is we are going to take a potato masher, which I do own, even though I use the ricer. And I'm going to take a sieve. So use it away for a sec. We're going to push our cloth down again because this is the hot surface. Ordinarily I'll just do this on the flat top, but I have to show you guys. So let's move you across. This is all our veg and all our flavors from roasting the chicken for hours. We're going to take, there's a bit of resting juice in the bottom of this. We'll pour that in at the very end. We'll use this one. We'll use that one because that only had butter and cream, that so should be fine. So I'm going to mash these veg into the gravy. So there's tomatoes, onions, carrots, all this sort of stuff. We're going to mash them through, add them to the texture of it. We're just adding flavor. There's also half a lemon in there that we added in from that was in the arse of the turkey. The chicken. I forgot what we've been doing. Yeah. So I'm going to. This is where it gets a little bit messy and a little bit tricky. Is this still hot? I'm going to touch it up with a little bit of water, a little bit thick. I don't think it'll go through the sieve that well like this. And this is where, bring you up here. You're going to push it through a sieve, nice and slowly. Oh, don't lose any of that. So we're trying to get every last drop of flavor out of those veg. I will get a ladle out and I will just push. I'm just trying to push, slowly push and turn, push and turn, push and turn all the time. You're trying to get every last bit of liquid out of those veg that are in there, that are blitz. You're trying to do, just keep pushing. Drew, you're a mod, you can do whatever the fuck you want. I'm just here cooking. You guys are running the show. I haven't set up a single thing on this stream, I don't think. I think you've done everything. So, whatever you want to do. So, now, I'm happy enough with that for now. Let's have a check. Before we go any further, let's take the juice from this. Could be a fair bit. And that can go in as well. Give her a little stir. Ooh, I'll go get the other. Ooh, gravy. Can you see that? Lovely. It's not as thick as what some people might like. So, do you know what I'll do? I'll put it on the hob for a couple of minutes. Reduce it down a wee bit. Just to keep everyone happy. Except for Fru, who, of course, doesn't like gravy. Which is an absolute wild statement. Okay, so. Right. One thing I'm not very good at, which you're about to find out. And carve a chicken to save my life. So. I've never been any good at it. Not very good at it. So, you guys are going to witness this firsthand. I'm going to oh, look at her. You. Absolutely stunning. Take another photo. Wham. Wham. Mash. Carrots. Gravy. Nice. I'm taking photos of everything. That's fine. Job done. Okay. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take off the leg first because that's something that one of my family members enjoys eating. So that's one leg. I'm going to leave the other leg off because work. Ah. What are you eating? Hold on. Give me that for a sec. Give me that. Sorry, dog's eating something. Let's take it out of his mouth. Yeah, you can't be eating that. So I'm going to, I don't like really cutting away, but I'm going to do it just so you guys can see. I'm going to just cut nice. Whoop. Thick slices. Ordinarily, what a lot of people would do is take the breast off whole. I don't really like doing that. I think it kind of wrecks it a little bit. Wrecks the presentation a little bit as well. If you just take this big fucking cut down the wishbone and go bang. I'm just going to scrape a few bits off here. I'm going to take half of the breast. I'm not even going to look at chat when I'm talking about this because I know how that's going to go. Now, I'm going to put you back in the bowl because that's all I need from you at the moment. Okay. So, I have my meat here. I need to stop. Go. So, now we're going to plate up. Mel's here just in time to see the plate up. So, because of the way this dinner is, I'm going to do it in 2 plate bowls. Which, if anyone has a plate bowl, you know, literally the only acceptable way to eat food. So, the 2 plate bowls here. I'm going to go first in with my mashed potato. Big fuck off chunk for me. A little bit more on this one. I'm just serving 2 at the moment. Okay, got our mash. Next up we have our honey glazed carrots. And a little bit too much to make count down. Which I'm going to flip, just place in a little crossover. Just a little bit of presentation, never hurt anyone. Ooh, that's a bit scalded. I do a third one. Fuck it, why not? Cool. You can go back in. Then for this one, we're going to place our drumstick in. For this one, our breast meat in. So that you have a little look at the 2 of them as is. Let's just take a photo so Lucy doesn't yell at me. Cool. Now, this is where people differ in life. I just enjoy a bit of gravy on the actual protein, where most of my family want it fucking everywhere on everything. So let's do a little wipe here, a little wipe here. Take a photo of these two now. Make sure we're keeping everybody happy. Ding. Let's have a look together at what we've done. So there we go, everybody. Start to finish. How long, what's our uptime, if anyone knows? 2 hours maybe? Just over 2 hours. Roast dinner for 2 or 3 people. 2 hours and 28 minutes. Are we happy now? I hope everybody enjoyed that. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna go eat this now. So we are gonna rate out. I'm not gonna sit here and eat this in front of you. I hope everybody enjoyed this stream. It's been absolutely wonderful. Is Sana on, is she? Has she started yet? Or does she start? Oh, Sana is on. I love that. Right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna raid Sana. I'm gonna serve this dinner to my family. And then I'm gonna eat something and I have to clean up this fucking shite behind me. I hope everybody really enjoyed this today. I had a great time. Thanks to the subs again. I didn't check who the fuck subbed today. I know Lucy did, Arta did. Lucy did, Arta did, Goose did, Brew did. Now like it's been all over the place. New follows, Roar, E4, Artis. It's been really, really lovely. Thank you very much, everyone. Let me just set up this raid first. What's your raid message? Fucking whatever you want. Oh, nuts. I don't know. Oh, we do have a raid message. Invalid username. Oh, you don't use the. Oh. Yeah, you don't use the app, do you? There we go. Thank you, Tam. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mel. Thank you, fucking Roar. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you, Fru. Mods. Fru, Axe. Lucy, couldn't have done this without you. I'm all over the place. I don't know when the raid will go. I don't see a countdown anywhere. It'll just happen at some stage. I don't know. I really do appreciate everyone coming here today. I'm going to go to the ending stream. I will remember to stop streaming, but thank you very much, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure.